Welcome back, guys, to Entre Nos. I'm Evelin and my co-host is
Alondra.
And today, how are you feeling?
Good. I feel a little bit sad because I'm like, dude, ya no voy a grabar. Like, we're getting so close.
What's your due date again? I know you tell me every episode, but I forget.
So, 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks?
Yeah, basically. Because I'm 38 weeks today.
Wasn't it? Oh, because I texted you yesterday, right? You're like, I'm about, nomás faltaban 2 weeks or whatever. How exciting. Are you getting, like, nervous? Or how are you feeling right now?
Not nervous, really. I'm just more so like, am I prepared? Like, do I have everything done for the baby that I need to get done? So it's just checking those little
things. Do you feel like, you know how they say mom's nest? Do you know what that means?
Like, just chill and take a break and not do anything?
Like it's like you feel it. Like, it's weird. Like, you know she's coming. So you start kind of doing things because it's like your body is kind of like telling you she's coming.
Yeah.
You know? So you start like cleaning, deep cleaning, making sure everything's good. Have you started doing that, or do you feel you're just like, nah? It's like
a little bit somewhat. I mean,
yeah.
My apartment is never dirty, so
we'll see when you have your baby.
Yeah, so I don't feel like I'm nesting right now.
Well, I guess it's more like preparing. Do you have your hospital? Oh, you don't need a hospital bag.
But I do have one packed already.
But you have your stuff ready. Yeah. Okay. Like, so it's just like
there's still the possibility that I am gonna go to the hospital. So I do have a hospital bag ready, just in the case.
You're saying like if the home water birth doesn't go as planned.
Yeah. Like if there's an intervention or like, it doesn't go as planned. Entonces I'm going to go to the hospital. And I already have my bag for that. And I also already have like my plan that I'm going to give the hospital, like transmission plan.
Oh, okay.
Like what's my plan? Like I don't want students there in the room because there'd be a whole bunch of students who come in the room.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
When you're giving birth, well, especially whenever it's like, it was a home birth. Let's go check this patient out because she's translated from home birth, and then everybody's there, trying to figure out like what happened, why are you here,
Yeah.
So I requested, what is this?
Oh my God,
a little spider. So tiny.
Mátala.
No.
Kill it with your cup. Kill it with your cup.
Oh, I'm just gonna press it. Oh,
well, press it.
I'm like, oh no.
Oh my God, se salió.
I didn't kill the guys. She did.
No. So then you don't want students there.
Yeah. So that's one. Like I wouldn't want students there. I really don't want a C-section. So unless it's like,
well, I feel like if you went to the hospital, it's maybe because it's that would be the next step. No. No,
it would be maybe because the baby's vitals went down.
Oh, yeah. I see. Okay.
And we now need to monitor on like a screen or something.
Yeah, like with Milo, like it's just
like the vitals have gone down, or my vitals have gone down, and now I need some type of IV to pick up my vitals, como suero or something.
Sí.
So it's not always a C-section. So not unless it's like absolutely I need it. Yeah. Entonces then I will go ahead
because
and get
you don't have a doctor either, right? So at least that's good that you're having the plan. In place. Yeah, I did have a plan too, but with my doctor, like, so she knew like C-section was like out the window for me.
Yeah, that's good. So you had like an advocate telling, like, your
and
doctor
then so the only thing that sucks whenever you do have a doctor, that they're not always on call. And it's not always their weekend. So and I was so lucky that
was there.
It was a girl.
Oh,
I wanted a girl doctor. Yeah. I didn't need no other man, checking me and whatnot. And all my nurses were girls.
That's good.
So, yeah, because I was like, I was not going to have a guy. Like, no, like I've never had
some other male look at you down there.
Straight up, no. Like, no.
So it's just like, no, it's so uncomfortable for me.
For me. So then I made sure of that it was girls. And I got lucky that she was on call. She was the doctor scheduled for that weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I was lucky with that. But I guess with you wouldn't even know, right? Like,
yeah, but I mean the same thing goes with my midwife. Sometimes my midwife might be with someone else already. In somebody else's labor. So she would have to send another midwife to me and an assistant. Yeah. So she's not always, available.
Maybe she's I always wondered how that worked too. Yeah. Like, if it was just gonna be like if it's just one, is it different ones?
No, they're very like ¿cómo se dice?
It's like a group of them.
Yeah. Pero I don't know them all. I just know
yours. Yeah. And do you know the assistant?
Yeah, I know the assistant, but sometimes the assistant is with
con ella.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Are they like doctors or no?
I don't know if midwives are considered doctors. I don't think so. I don't think midwives are considered doctors.
Oh, okay. I think maybe, I wonder what certificate they need, or what is it that they...
I think for them it's nada más de parto, and that's it. Just to deliver
the baby. Yeah. Well, because in the hospital, nurses can't deliver babies. It has to be the actual doctor. So for me, when I was pushing out, the nurse was like, "Oh my God, he's coming out! Stop it!" Yeah. But
your body just does it, right? Your body just wants to push.
Well, I was pushing when she would tell me, because I got the epidural.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was numb, and I didn't feel nothing. Yeah.
The urge.
So, I didn't feel the urge. But your body knows, And she would be like, push. And my pushes were great. Like, 3 pushes and Milo was already out.
Yeah.
Like, with my doctor, because I was
he knew when to...
Yeah, like it was a girl, right? So
she knew when to.
Her name was Dr. Smith, and she was like, "Okay, let's do it." So she's like, "Okay, push now," and I would push, and she's like, 1, 2, 3, and then I would push, and then I was with her. It was 3 pushes. With the nurse, she was teaching me how to push.
Oh, okay.
She was like, "Oh, put your chin down and just breathe," da da da, and then that's when I was pushing him out when I wasn't supposed to, but she was teaching me.
I was about to ask you, did you feel the ring of fire, but you didn't even feel anything. Because my little sister was like, there's like a very intense fiery feeling down there.
She didn't get the epidural?
She didn't get anything. She just pushed naturally.
Dang.
And she's like, se siente pero bien caliente, like fire down there whenever the head is out, or whenever the head is coming out. And the doctor was telling her his doctor was telling her, if you don't push on this next one, it'll be all over. Because she held back, and she's like, that burns like she's like, I don't want to push because it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
So the doctor was like, if you push on this next one, it'll be all over. And she's like, all right, I'll do it. And she pushed and the baby came out. But it was 3 pushes.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, see, the delivery for me was easy. The labor part is the hard part. The labor of like the contractions, the pain, and the whole not being able to eat. You know how you said yours, they're gonna let you eat. Like for me, they didn't let me eat. Well, with that's why it surprises me that they're letting you eat, because sí me dijeron, no, you can't eat, porque if you go into an emergency C-section and you throw up what you ate, you can choke on it.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh hell no, I don't want nothing. Like I don't want to eat.
But obviously, they can't help you and be like, oh, look away so that your throw up can come out and not.
Well,
choke.
I don't know how.
So
I don't know how C-sections work. I don't know. Sometimes they're awake and sometimes they're asleep, and then te drogan. No te drogan, right? Pero te dan medicina que probably is just like you're just in and out of it. Like Giselle, la de Rob. I think she was saying que she was kind of like in and out because she had a C-section. I think. Maybe I'm confusing her story. I don't know. I could be wrong, right? But I think she said she was one of the ones that she was like in and out. So cuando el baby salió, like nomás lo vio and then she knocked out or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Again, I could be wrong. But I've heard stories like that with the C-section, it's just like sometimes you're like out of it and you don't even realize that the baby was born,
That sucks.
I know. But then it's just so much like not all our bodies are very different. So not all of them can handle the same,
Yeah.
Like for me, I was, si no me daban, como digamos, si no agarraba la epidural, I was going to get a fever and then that was going to cost me to go into a C-section, But I was like, I'm tired. Like,
give me that.
Give me the epidural. I'm starving. I'm hungry. I have a headache right now. Like,
it was not good.
And Milo keeps moving. Like, he would not stay still. And it was even more exhausting. Like, I feel like my body was just like tired. And he's just there, like, moving. And I'm just like,
and you're going you're going through the contractions.
Contractions, yes. And then I remember specifically one time, I don't know if I've said it on here, that my mom, she was my angel. Like,
she was
massaging me, and she was massaging me like aquí, like in the middle of my back, you know, like lower middle back area. And one time, I guess the monitors were reading the type of contraction or how high the contraction was, you know, and it was a low contraction, and I'm just like, oh my God, it hurts. Like, yo me ponía así como que like, oh my God, you know. And my mom knew that I was in pain, but I wasn't screaming like, you know, like how movies show.
Yeah.
And because I never wanted them to come back and fucking make fun of me, which obviously that wasn't gonna happen either way, right? Because why would they? Pero I was like...
It was still a fear of yours, like in the back of your head.
I don't know. Like, I guess beforehand, it was in the back of my head. But in the moment, I didn't care. But it wasn't like pain that I had hernia when I was little.
Yeah.
And that's painful. Like a hernia, like aquí abajo.
Yeah.
And hernia...
Wait, explain aquí abajo.
Like aquí como...
Like your thigh.
No, like right here.
Oh, like in your abdomen.
Lower.
A little bit lower than your
like
abdomen.
inches under my umbilical, but like, I'll show you. I had my hernia like right here.
Okay.
Like
because I was like, they're going to think down there.
No, I had it like
yeah,
aquí.
Okay.
So,
en tu ingle. I think that's how they call it.
I don't know, but that area, right? And I was in pain when I was little. So I always felt like I could handle pain very well. I almost died and I was in pain, and I was like, handling like if I wasn't fucking dying, you know what I mean? So I feel like my pain,
contractions plus being hungry plus being
and having a headache, and it's different. It's mentally draining, but physically my body was just done. And I think that's when I was
to know that you could just take this and not feel anything.
But again, epidural was never out of the picture for me. I was like, if I need it, I'm gonna get it. Because regardless, when you go to get a C-section, you get the epidural, you know. And I don't believe in like if you get it, you're less of a woman, or I don't believe in like in the if you get the epidural, your legs hurt after, in the winter, your back. It's just like, no, cuídate, and
you should be good.
You should be fine. Look at me, like
fat. That's why your back hurts.
I got the epidural, and that's why, like, you know, whatever. No, like, thankfully, I mean, again, girls, I got the epidural. I'm fucking perfectly fine. I still can squat.
Yeah.
Great. You know, I don't get pains in the winter, you know, and my periods, now I do get cramps, but I'm not blaming that on epidural. I'm really blaming that on myself, as in like hormones, and maybe I'm not giving my body what it properly needs, you know.
I think only whenever they give you the epidural wrong, the nurse does a bad job at it, then
maybe
that's
it could be, right? It could be, but again, I do feel like God was with me, because my suegra was in my room and she was praying the whole time. Like the whole time she was praying, you know, and I needed that. Like I needed, and I wanted her and my suegro to experience the birth of their grandkid, you know. Well, obviously my suegro stepped out once I was pushing, right, but he was there the whole time. But I don't know, the whole epidural thing. And then whenever you get into car accidents and you like are in a lot of pain and you get like an injection, it's an epidural injection.
Oh yeah.
Like it's normal, and technology is improving. That's why I don't think there's anything wrong with it, because in my case, my personal experience, I think the epidural is what saved me from going into a C-section. Porque that's what helped me relax my body. That's why I'm happy that you're doing the home birth, because I feel que maybe it'll be like a relaxing experience with pain, of course, you know, pero you're going to be in your home, like you'll be able to relax. And I think that's what your body needs. Like, I don't know, I could be wrong, right? But I do think that during labor, if you're able to relax and just enjoy the process with the pain, then you should be able to have a safe delivery, you know?
Hopefully. I think one of the reasons why I'm not having the baby at a hospital,
your sister did though, right?
Yeah, my sister did.
Oh, okay.
But she was also going for a home birth, but she wasn't able to. She had to do
the hospital.
The hospital, yeah. I think one of the reasons why I opted out of a hospital was because when I was maybe like 19 or 20 years old, it's super intimate, right? Like way back then, 19, 20 years old, I remember a prayer that I made to God saying that I wanted to experience everything that a human has to experience, because we only live life once, you know. So I was telling God, you know,
this was after like everything that you had gone through, right?
Yeah.
And this was like already, this is already your recovery phase?
Yeah. This is my recovery phase. This is already like getting better. Good with God. Yeah. And I had asked him in my prayer that to give me the possibility to go through this human experiencing everything, you know, the pains, the laughs, the experiences, like whatever it is, to give me the opportunity to live it fully. So whenever I found out I was pregnant, I feel like God brought that prayer back to me and said,
isn't it crazy?
Yeah. Like, I was like, that was so long ago.
Like, I know what you mean, porque there's like, it's not a prayer, but there's things in the back of my mind that you've said like I vividly remember. I mean, I said it on here that the only person I've ever had like sex with is Roland, right? But I vividly remember we were driving to Lubbock to go visit my family, and I don't know why I was talking to my grandparents. They were basically telling me like, oh, you need to make like, telling me like I'm a queen and that I deserve to be treated like a queen, that I needed to be treated the way my grandpa treated me, because I was like they spoiled me, you know.
So basically saying like look for a man that treats you just like grandpa.
Yes. That was the conversation. And I remember talking to them, and I vividly remember just being like, because we had a Hummer, right, and my grandpa was driving, my grandma was in the passenger, y yo estaba así like standing up or sitting like como towards the front. I tenía el cinto puesto, but it was just us three, and I was just like this talking to them, and I was just like, yeah, like, well, I'm not gonna get a boyfriend till like I'm 18, you know, or like I didn't say I'm not gonna have sex till I'm 18, but the 18 stuck in my head, you know. Obviously, I didn't tell them, like I said, I didn't say I'm not gonna have sex, but in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna have. As I grew, I'm like,
a relationship till I'm 18.
Till I'm 18, right? Obviously, I met Roland when I was 15, you know, but we weren't active till after, you know, because it was so. And I remember telling him, I'm like, well, I don't plan on like having sex till I'm married. Obviously, and that didn't happen.
We're only 15.
Well, he's like, oh no, he said he liked that, right? He's like, well, he respected that, you know. So to me, it was more like, don't fucking pressure me to do nothing, because I'm not. And he never did. But I did wait till I was 18, because I was just like, you know,
you're like,
we were so young. Yeah, it was so like, and maybe it was like when I was 17, if I'm trying to think around the time that it happened, you know, but I was turning 18 that year, you know, but still, like, in the back of my head, it did stay, like, so I know what you mean, like, there is things you say que se te quedan en la cabeza, and somehow you just randomly think about them, and you're just like, that's so random, like, you know.
Super random, and I felt like God wasn't holding me accountable, like, not saying, like, you better because you said da-da-da. But almost saying, like, here's an opportunity. Are you going to take it? You know, here's the opportunity that you prayed for
years ago. Yeah. Because how old are you now?
I am 28.
Oh, yeah.
So almost 10 years ago.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I think that's one of, like, the big reasons why I opted out of a hospital.
Yeah.
And doing it just naturally.
Though. I'm excited for you. I really hope and pray that it just goes as smooth as it can, you know, because of course it's just like there is the pains or whatever, contractions just grow more painful, you know, but
as you're getting closer to delivering the baby.
So but it's also, you can also, now that I'm thinking about it, you can also look at it like, oh hell yeah, it's getting painful because I know she's coming. Yeah, you know, that's another way. It's a little
excitement thing.
Yeah, it could be, right?
I was telling Kike that I feel like it's gonna be very spiritual for me to deliver this baby. It's going to be a very spiritual experience. Yeah. Porque I remember my midwife always telling me, just surrender to the pain. When the pain gets you, surrender to it. Surrender. And I was like, surrender?
What do you mean? I know, like, what do you mean by that?
Give in to it.
Oh, okay.
Don't try to, like, be like, no, I don't want it. Just give in. Give in to the pain. And I was like, heck no, how the heck you go? Like, how do you gonna
how like, can you what are you saying?
How can you surrender to pain? Like, what you want to do is like, no, right?
Yeah, like, I don't want this.
I don't want the pain.
Sister's like, I don't want the ring of fire.
Yeah. Yeah. She didn't want the ring of fire. She's like, I'm not pushing no more. And I was like, what? How? So I was praying the rosary one night, and God brought to my mind the times that I would surrender to him because I couldn't with the temptation of doing drugs, right? And he'd be like, just surrender to it and know that you just can't stop fighting against it. Just surrender it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, I remember how that was, you know.
I remember how that works.
I remember those experiences, and it was sometimes painful and shameful to surrender, because I was like, no, it's my battle. I have to fight it instead of giving it to God.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, it's probably going to be like a very spiritual experience for me.
I told Roland, I'm like, would you be down? He's like, no.
To do a home birth?
Yeah, he said no. He said he's too scared.
Yeah, because he's seen you like close to death.
Yeah. He's like, you were pale white. Like, he's like, white. Yeah. I'm just like, you know, but I mean, I don't think, obviously it just...
Would you be down?
I think if my doctor said I can, I think I would be, but then...
But you didn't have a bad experience at the hospital,
But then again, I didn't have like a terrible experience. I actually had... My experience was great. Yeah. Just the labor was long, you know. I also think now I know that my body maybe wasn't ready. Yeah. But Joe, at that time, I really, really wanted him to be born on my grandpa's birthday. Like, it was something special for me. Yeah. So when they gave me the option to get induced, I said yes. Like, induce me, you know. And they did, like, you know, because it was just, to me, it was like, I saw it like, oh my God, like, I'm getting contractions. My grandpa's birthday's tomorrow. And my doctor's on schedule. Yeah. And she's like, you want to get induced? I'm like, yeah, induce me. I was already 2 centimeters. Like, let's do it, you know. My due date's tomorrow. My due date was Saturday morning when she told me if I wanted to get induced, like at 7 a.m. And I'm like, yes. And that Saturday was my grandpa's birthday. And then my due date was Sunday, the 8th. So then I was just like, yeah.
Pero nació el sábado.
Nació a las 11:41 p.m., girl.
On Saturday. Dude.
On Saturday.
You were like, Milo, you better come out or you're going to get the first whooping.
No, my doctor, when I was like, I literally took the epidural, me dieron la epidural. And again, I was so tired that I was like, I think I've said it on here that I was falling asleep on my nurse's boobs, right? Well, they gave me, and I felt the liquid go inside. Like, I just felt it, and I moved. She's like, no, don't move. When everybody came back to the room, I was out. I just remember seeing like my mom and Roland walk in after they gave me the epidural, and I was out for 2 hours. Wow. My body relaxed, and from like, I think I was like 4 centimeters desde Friday hasta como 8 p.m. Saturday. Yeah. Only 4, right? And then, but I was getting contractions constantly. I just wasn't opening up, you know? And my body wasn't doing what it needed to to do or whatever. And I got the epidural at 8 p.m. By 10 p.m., I was at 10 centimeters. 2 hours.
And you're like, okay, let's go.
Those 2 hours, I was out. Like, me dormí. Yeah. Like, I was just...
Your body relaxed completely.
And I was just out. Like, I forgot about food. Like, I was out, you know? And I woke up with so much energy. And I remember telling my nurse, era una morenita, and I'm just like, I'm ready. I'm like, I'm ready. I feel good. I think he's coming. Like, I literally was like, I think he's coming.
Toda feliz.
And she's like, well, let's check. And she's like, oh my God, you're 10 centimeters. It's going to be time to push. And then I was like, but I don't know how. Like, I was like, I don't know how. And then she's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't feel my legs, you know, nothing. But overall, my experience, I loved it again because I had my mom, I had Roland's mom, and I had Roland there. You know, my mom was holding one leg, my suegra was holding the other leg, and Roland just was watching the whole thing, like experiencing, you know. And what was I gonna say? Why were we talking about that?
Because I told you like you didn't have a bad experience.
Yeah. So then that I wanted him to be born that day, you know. And it was 10, and I'm just like, oh no, he's gonna be born tonight. So when my doctor walked in, after I was pushing him, I was like, he can be born. I'm like, how long is it gonna take for him to come out? Because I want him to be born today. She's like, oh no, just 3 to 5 pushes and he'll be here. And I was like, okay, you know. And then 3 pushes, he salió 11:41 p.m.
That's
and I have a video of me pushing him out
at 11:41.
And it was 11:41. And Milo was purple. Él no tenía, like, estaba como morado, like, you know. And obviously, since you're gonna be doing it at home, you'll know that like skin to skin matters. Like,
el color,
dude, like, there's no hay un video, but it's just like, I think que se corta, like, sale Milo like purple. And then as soon as they put him on me, like you could see he just gets pink, like color.
Instantly.
And literally it's like instantly.
Magic.
Like I was just like, I couldn't, that was one of the biggest things. Were you a little bit
scared cuando te lo dieron morado?
I was just like I was I was shook, but then my doctor wasn't like, nothing, like no estaba como preocupada, so I didn't know if to worry or not, but it was just so fast. Like she's like, it's a boy, here he is or whatever, and he would look purple, and then they just literally like opened me up y ya me lo pusieron. And then bam,
he got color. Wow.
Y ya lo estaban limpiando while he was here, and I couldn't believe it. And then they just took him and put him, they started weighing him.
Yeah.
And then his head was kind of like a little cone because he was stuck down there, you know. And Roland, there's a video where Roland's recording and he's asking his mom, la cabeza se le va a quedar así. Yeah, I was just like, overall, my experience was great. And I do hope to go back if the doctor is there, you know. If not, we'll just like pray that we get blessed with just as an amazing doctor as her, you know. But, or I don't know, maybe home birth. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But with that being said, let's go on a quick break and we'll be back. And we are back. So I have some great news to share with you.
Okay.
And I'm excited to share with everybody. We're going to homeschool Milo.
Like officially?
Officially.
Starting this year,
yeah.
No way.
Yep. And you know how I was excited about the new school because there's dual language and then I had a little bit of Mandarin. Just as much as I think that's a great school and a great opportunity, like... the homeschool has been on the back. If y'all been watching since last year, y'all know that it's been in the back of my mind since last year to homeschool. But then I got the job at the school and it was just like one of the worst experiences ever, you know. And then Milo stayed there and I became really close to his teacher. And his teacher, I love the teacher que le tocó porque she was as spiritually as she was there. And then we just had great communication, you know. And she taught Milo a lot. So then this year I was like, okay, I'm excited. It's a new school, you know, great location, blah, 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 you know. And then, I don't know, like, it just had really, really been in the back of my mind. Like man,
should I take him or should I not?
Yeah, so then I showed Roland, Katie Hearn. I don't know, I think I've talked about her on here. She homeschools her kids. And I saw her post and it had already been in the back of my mind, but it was just like, it's such a great school. Like, am I not going to put him, you know?
Yeah.
But homeschool is still here. Everything was already planned for it, you know? And then I was like telling my sister, oh, I'm going to need you to give me some patches, you know, blah, blah, blah. Cause I'm going to do the embroidery on there. I'm not going to buy the shirts cause they're too expensive. She's like, yeah, I'll get them for you. And then...
you were already planning to do his little uniforms.
Yeah. But in the back of my mind, it was still como que... ¿Te ha pasado que a veces you're working towards something, but something is telling you no? Like, it's something there, you know? Yeah. That's how it was. That's how it's been for me. So, yo me senté con Milo. This summer, we've been learning más español, ¿verdad? So, yo me senté con él a enseñarle, like, las sílabas de la M y la P, right? En español, le leo un cuento y le hago que conteste unas preguntas, right? Todo en español. Y empezamos a leer, dude. Y él empezó a leer.
¿En español?
En español. I was just like, you know how to read Spanish? And then he's like, yeah, you didn't know? And I'm just like, no, I didn't know, you know? So then I was just like, oh, okay. And then I was teaching him, well, again, the M and the P. And las sílabas de la M y la P. And he's like, oh, he started putting words together like mama, papa. He's like, mami, mapa. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, like, I'm teaching you Spanish.
Yeah.
You know, like, putting words together. Like, so that was one thing, right? And then I was so proud of myself because I was just like, oh my God, like, me senté con él un ratito and he started, like, catching on, right? And then I saw Katie Hearn post. Literally, I hadn't seen her pop up on my feed. But then I saw her post, Q&As of homeschooling or whatever it was, you know. And then she started answering questions, you know, and she's like, she's like, one of the reasons why we decided is because we love having our kids around and sending them 8 hours a day. Like, it's like a waste for us. It's a lot when we could teach them. And I'm just like, that's what I needed to see.
Yeah.
I know that, but I needed to see it, right? Yeah. So then I sent Roland the story and I'm like, oh, look, go through her stories of the homeschooling. See, tell me what you think, right? And he's like, oh, okay. I think he was always down, but he never made it like known that he was like all in, right? Like last year.
Because I think that it's your desire more than his.
Yeah. And then last year he was like, yeah, do it if you want.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Do it if you want, right? But that's not what I needed to hear. Like, I needed to hear more like, you should do it. You got this. Like, you know? But obviously, no era con mala intención ni nada.
Yeah.
So then I told him, I was like, what do you think? He's like, oh, I think we should. He said, I think we should do it. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I feel like I'm scared, but I know I can do it. And he's like, oh, no. Like, you can do it. You got it. And I'm like, I do got it right. And he's like, yeah, you know? And then from there, we're just like, all right, we're gonna do it.
That's crazy.
So then I'm gonna withdraw him from the school this week. I'm gonna.
Did you tell Milo?
Yeah. At first he didn't understand what homeschooling really was, you know. So then I had to show him videos about like other parents homeschooling, you know, the kids or whatever. And so just a lot of different things, you know. And so I was like, all right, let me, you know, that's one of the reasons why también I started like wanting to post like content in August, because while we're doing all of that, like we're gonna start the new journey of homeschooling. You know, this month is the month that we're decluttering our house. You know, we're trying to clean things out, fix our house, you know, just to have like a great start of like the remainder of the year, you know. And so I have like an end goal in the back of my head. I just don't want to lose track of it. Yeah. So I feel like me posting is gonna keep me accountable, you know. And so I'm super excited. So yesterday we decluttered his room. Like that has toys in.
Oh my goodness. So he's gonna be getting his lessons in his room.
For now, yeah. So we fixed up his whole room. Like, I'll show you whenever, you know, I moved it around. I showed him, you know, like what it was. I looked into it already, like what are the requirements, which honestly, we're so lucky that we're in Texas because it's not many. Yeah. And there's a lot of parents that are doing it. Para mí, I'm the type of parent that I love having Milo around.
Expensive.
No, so I told Roland, I'm like, el dinero que íbamos a gastarnos útiles y en el uniforme, I'm like, literally, we could use that money for him.
For his lectures, yeah.
Yeah, like, para que él aprenda, for his curriculum, like, extra activities, you know. I'm like, going to the zoo is a whole lesson right there. Yeah. Let's go talk about animals, you know. Yeah. Let's go do science or whatever, you know. I'm like, I'm already like that with him. Like, when he was little, I remember before he started school, I'm like, okay, cuéntame hasta 10 si quieres una cookie. Yeah. And he would count. Hasta Roland too. Roland would count too, because it's just like, we're all going to count if we want a snack, you know? Or tell me what color this snack is, you know? Like that. Just, like, everything should be a lesson. Yeah. But it doesn't have to be boring. It could just be like, whatever. Like, yesterday, he went with me to go run my mile. And we were practicing izquierda, derecha, left, right, you know, little things like that, you know,
that he's also having fun.
And like, it's just
working his brain.
Yeah. And so we decided, and it's official, like, we are gonna full on go homeschool. Wow. And then after Rolling, I'm like, Alondra has a friend that, I don't know, I think she said she has like 7 kids, right? I was like,
they're all homeschooled.
I'm like, she homeschools. Like,
they were at the baby shower.
They were?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see them.
So they took up a whole table.
Oh, is that they were on that side?
She's actually pregnant right now, and she has a 1-year-old. Yeah. Crazy. Not even. I think he's like 10 months old or something.
I think she's did pregnant. See them.
And it was a little girl who was playing, left before the games.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they got there super early.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I did see them. I think I know who you're talking about. But
they're all homeschooled.
So then I told him, I'm just like, and then his thing was one of the things was like socializing, the social skills. And I'm like, this will give Milo the opportunity to come with us even more to different things. And he won't only socialize with kids, he'll socialize with adults. You know, he'll socialize with people that are not really his age. Yeah. And then I'm like, and obviously we're gonna put him in like sports, and that's where he'll be able to socialize with kids his age. And he has shit tons of cousins too, so it's like,
I mean, there's like homeschooling groups.
Yeah, I've joined the one in I joined the one in Pearland, and the one in, I think it's like in No, in Cyprus, I think. It's mainly up north that there's more groups, and down south is the one in Pearland. So, but still, like, even just taking him to libraries, you know, I love going to libraries. One of Milo's favorite stores is Barnes and Noble's. Like a bookstore, you know, like that's one of my favorites. It's just so expensive, but I'm super excited, like, because it's just, again, I was saying earlier, like, I'm the type of mom that, like, I love having my kid around. You're never gonna catch me saying, like, oh, finally school is back, like, because I always dread. He's been in school since he was 3, 3, 4, 5. I've dreaded
those 3 years to take him to school.
Like, yeah, because I'm always just like, literally, even like if he goes with anybody, I'm just like, damn, I already miss him. Yeah. And it's not like I'm like just putting him in a box. No, like I consider myself a smart person, and I want to teach him more. And we're going to be doing Bible study with him. Like, and then my brother-in-law's like, well, so I told my in-laws, right?
So one of his little lectures is going to be talking about God.
Well, God's going to be a part of our it's our God. Ya hablamos de Dios. Yeah. But now it's gonna be like, let's learn, like, because he has a little kid Bible, but it's so like babyish. Yeah. So Friday we're gonna
learn the stories that are in there.
Yeah. So, but I want to go more into depth of the stories. Yeah. I don't know if that's how you say. Like, that's how I said. I don't know if I said it right.
You want to explain it to him like in a kid version, a little bit more
like to his level. Yeah. Like where it's like an actual lesson. Oh, did you see how? Whatever, I don't even know the stories, but I'm gonna fucking learn them. Like, I'm gonna learn them to teach him to him, you know. And like, I want him to see how everything is for a reason, you know. And some of these stories are gonna teach you just to have faith, you know. And Milo has his faith like full on, like, you know, God is rolling me, God, like, for him, like, it's the people, right? But so we're gonna do the whole Bible stuff, you know. And then I told my in-laws, my father-in-law, he's like, I love it. Like, he's like, yeah. My mother-in-law's like, I think that's a great idea. Like, I think y'all are going to do a great job, you know. And I told my father-in-law, I'm like, the days that you're off, go pick him up. Go teach him things that he could do with the chickens and help you at the ranch, all those things. So one of the things for Texas is you have to teach him how to be a good citizen. And I'm like, you know, we can teach him different things. It could be fun.
Pick up the trash.
Yeah, like go.
Somebody threw something on the street. Pick it up. It
like matter. Know that this is not okay. Yeah, just little life lessons that they're not gonna teach him in school. You know. And then I told him, I'm like, and I don't want to rely on a person, and I don't want to have to be like kissing ass to his teacher every year, so I know that my son is good,
getting the attention that he needs.
Yeah, or that he deserves. Like, I don't want that. Like, I'm like, if I know I can do it, I'm like,
you want to then prevent him from going like through the traumas that other kids might give him.
And it's just like, I get it. Some people don't have the opportunity to homeschool. You know, I get that. Like, and I understand that. And some people just don't have the patience for it, you know. But I have patience. Like, God blessed me with patience. Like, why not use it? Like, you know, I love teaching too. Like, I love sitting down with him and just
helping him
understand things, you know. So yeah, I was actually very excited when we decided to text you, but I'm like, we'll just talk about it on the podcast, like, because I knew that I know you know that it's been like a thing, you know. And so yeah, this year he'll be doing it.
That is so crazy.
I know.
I'm so happy for you guys.
I told some family members, you know, but I could tell they're like, whatever about it. Which is whatever. But like my brother-in-law, he's like, when I told him, he's like, because my mother-in-law is telling me to put him in like the school, right? I was like, no, he's too little. Like, I'd rather put him when he has a little bit more understanding, you know. And she's like, it'll be easy, you know. I'm like, what? It's the same thing. Like, I'm sending him for like an hour so they can just color when he could do that with me. Yeah. You know.
And learn more,
you know. And then my brother-in-law's like, oh, well, how do you know that you're going to teach him the stuff? And I'm like, I'll just look it up. And he's like, so you're just going to get it off the internet? I'm like, well, where do the people that teach you, I mean, where do the teachers get it from? You know, like, they don't take a course.
No, they actually do give you a lesson, and they do ask you to test. You can test him and submit it to the city.
What do you mean? Like, test him like from
at
church?
Like at the end of the school year for him, you can test him and send it to the city. and show
No, he's talking about like the church.
Oh, the church stuff.
The church stuff, yeah. The church stuff. And I'm like, and then I told him, I'm like, I'm the type of mom that if I don't know it, I'm going to figure it out so I can teach him. I was just like, that's who I am. And then he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, it's just like, and I told him, like, think about it. Like I'm like, Alondra was a teacher, you know, and she was hella young.
Yeah, I was 18 teaching.
And then I'm like, there was another guy. I think his name was Ivan, right? That's his name? Yeah, it was in San Agustin. Lego and Rai were in a class, and it was like a guy
that was
teacher,
really young.
And he was young too. And he's like, "Yeah, but Ivan knew about everything." And I'm just like, "Yeah, and I can learn it too." You know, like I'm like, there's just no way that I'm not gonna like look it up.
Yeah.
To teach my son, you know,
or go through the Bible and be like, is it legit? What the internet is telling me, is it legit?
And it's not like I can't just text you or my mother-in-law and be like, hey, like, what do you think about this? You know, so I told my mother-in-law, I'm like, do you want to help me like with some Bible classes? And she's like, yeah, we should do it. It'll be fun. And I'm like, yeah, like it'll be a way that he can connect with her in a different level. Yeah, you know, like a spiritual level. And it's just, I don't know. I'm super excited because we are gonna teach him about that. You know, just reading, and obviously we're gonna be doing Spanish. Yeah, you know, like
I do have adult clients who were homeschooled, and they tell me that it's very laughable. They laugh a lot at the people who weren't homeschooled because they're just like, they're very stupid, like they're very dumb, like they don't know who they are in identity, right? So very insecure people, the people who go to school, because they're surrounded by a lot of people and there's too many identities and personalities or whatever. But they made their own. Their parents helped them choose good personalities. You know? One of them, he works for the NASA. He's an engineer, and he's super young. He's maybe 23 years old, and yeah, he's super smart.
It's so crazy you say that, because Milo said he wanted to be an astronaut.
Really?
Yeah. But it's just, yeah, I agree. Yeah. I saw that too.
He was homeschooled his whole year. He said that he only went to high school 2 years just so that he can get scholarships. He's like, my mom told me go to 11th grade and 12th grade, get some good scholarships, and go to college.
Yeah, because he could always go back. And I told Roland, if he decides that he wants to go back, which I'm pretty sure Milo, I don't know, maybe, no, I shouldn't be saying this, right? But I feel like he wouldn't care for it. Yeah. You know, because he loves being around us. And I just feel like there's just so many things. Like, I don't want to rely, since we're blessed with the opportunity that we can be the ones to teach him and guide him. Like, we're going to take advantage of that. Yeah. Like, I told Roland, you could literally, and he just posted a video that he's not a good teacher. Roland. I'm like,
oh yeah, he did.
Same like, he's passionate. Yeah. I was just, but it's different with Milo. Like, Roland can sit Milo down on the iPad, and Milo knows how to use Procreate.
Oh, wow.
Like, minimal, right? Yeah. Minimal.
But he can go in there and draw some stuff.
He could color. Yeah. Roland le pone un horse y él lo colorea, like, you know. But the fact that he knows how on that application and to go pick a color from that color wheel and use it, you know. Yeah. I'm learning how to use Procreate, you know. But it's just, I told him,
He's
I was just like, basically, I told Roland, I'm like, these are things that we can teach him. Things that he is, that obviously are going to make him book smart, but I also want him to be street smart, you know, because like we can teach him that. Like, there's just nobody else better in the world that can guide our son other than us, you know. I was like, you know, it's just like, let's just do it. And then he's like, yeah. So then us telling our family, you know, because I did tell like my cousin Erica, Priscilla, that we were going to do that. I haven't even told my mom or my little sister because I haven't seen them, right? And I told his parents and Roland's brothers. And I feel like saying it out loud is making it even more real. Yeah. And I'm saying it on the podcast, you know. So it's just like, it's on. Like, we're full on. Yeah. And I've always liked the whole teacher thing, you know. And I feel like in another world, if I was married with like a rich guy, you know, or like money was not an issue, I think I would have had the passion enough in my heart to be a teacher, you know, because I love teaching. It's just, it's not where the money is at. And I have passion for it, but not enough to, like, you know, I'm pretty sure it's better now, but I feel like I can focus straight on guiding my son.
You know what's crazy? If you Google what are the professions that that people have that are most wealthy, number one is teachers.
Really? Like they get money?
I don't know.
I was like, say, because I'm not here in Texas.
I have no idea, pero I searched up what professions do people have that are wealthy. And number one, teacher.
Well, maybe they're already wealthy.
Like, what?
Maybe they were already wealthy and that's why they're teaching.
Yeah, probably.
Because I think it's a good teacher. It depends on the years, maybe too, that you've been teaching.
Yeah.
I think they probably start you at 45 and then just go up to like whatever amount, you know. Because I know a teacher that I'm actually going to reach out to. Because she's a Spanish teacher. She teaches middle school. I have her on social media. And I literally just saw her post today. And I was going to ask her, like, hey, what curriculums do you... Oh, another thing. Talking about curriculums. I'm going to reach out to her to ask her if she has any for, like, Spanish only. So I reached out to Roland's cousin in Mexico. And I'm like, hey, do they share the curriculums with the parents? And she's like, no, they don't. They just do it with themselves, you know? I was like, can you ask... you know, your daughter's teacher, if she can sell me her curriculum. And then she's like, oh, look into it. Que me lo venda.
Wow, como ya son bien.
I know, right? I was just like,
everything's money. Yeah, sure.
Because I'm like, I just want to see like a full-on Spanish curriculum and follow it, you know? Because here, obviously, there is some, you know, but like, I just want to see what the difference is from a curriculum from Mexico from here. Like, how more advanced or how more how behind are they? Yeah. You know, with their stuff.
Yeah.
And because Milo, I feel like he's pretty good. He's at his level, you know. And I have seen like I think I've seen a few TikToks like of girls or people that were homeschooled their whole life. And I think one of them is the only one. I've seen like a few, but I feel like out of the ones I've seen, I think only two of them had said like, that they feel like they missed out on socializing. Like one of them said, oh, we went to a college frat party and we were playing Cards Against Humanity, which that's a very like crazy game, you know? It's crazy cards and you have to read them out loud, right? And she said that she was so embarrassed. She's like, I couldn't understand like why people were playing this game.
Well, maybe because she's like, no, they're freaking idiots and you're not an idiot.
Yeah, but she didn't take it like that. She took it as in like, wow, like
everybody's having a good time except me.
Yeah, like she took it like
and embarrassed.
She's like, yeah, like wow, I'm really missing out. And she said that her cousins were like, oh my God, like obviously she was homeschooled and her cousins weren't.
Yeah.
That they were like, they did like a FYI, things like that, and that she just was out of the loop. She's like, oh, what is that? And they're like, oh my God, like. Of course you're like, don't know because you got homeschooled, you know. And then I saw it and I'm just like, I wish I could tell her like, you realize that that's not what life is really about.
Yeah.
You know, compare what your knowledge is. Not that you need to compare with anybody really, right? But there is going to be situations where Milo is going to be put in that because he's homeschooled, he might not know.
Thank God you're different, you know?
Yeah, that he might not know, but
thank God you don't blend.
There is going to be situations where he's going to outshine.
Yeah.
Because he was homeschooled.
Or he doesn't even have to say it. He can just keep it to himself and be
for sure. Like, you know? Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the journey. That's something that I wanted to talk about on this podcast. Obviously, Alondra is going to go on maternity leave.
I know.
And
I want to be a homeschool mom too.
She did want to homeschool. So, for me, I think it was good that I did put him, you know, because it did help him develop his speech. But I also feel now that I look back when the pediatrician told me put him because it'll help him develop.
Yeah.
I look back and I'm just like, I could have helped him develop it.
Yeah.
You know, but we just, again, I've said it on here before, like as parents, we are our kids' voice.
Yeah.
You know, don't let all these professionals tell you otherwise. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like doctors can intimidate you. I mean, like,
we know the statistics tells us this.
Yeah. Like it's just like, no, at the end of the day, we are our kids' voice. We as a parent know what's better for them, and we should just go with what our heart and gut tells us, you know. And obviously with God's guidance, then we'll be able to get there. So I'm excited. But with that being said, we're gonna go on a quick break and we'll be back. So I showed Alondra the room, right?
Yeah.
The Milo, his little area. You know, here for him that he's going to be going to first grade, they only require 45 to 90 minutes a day.
Yeah.
We were sending them for 8 fucking hours. A whole job. Like, I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah. And it crushes my heart to know that teachers tell the kids, sit down, be quiet. Like, they cannot retain their energy.
So that's another reason why the socializing excuse is out the window for me.
Yeah.
What's up, babe? Mucho?
Okay, because you're already screaming for me.
Oh my, I was checking. So yeah, like, that's just it. Like, but to me, so he told me he wanted to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
He changed it to, he wants to be a scientist. Mm-hmm. That's the most recent thing that he told me he wanted to be, a scientist, right? So then I'm going to take advantage that he wants to be a scientist to do a bunch of experiments.
Yeah.
Like a bunch.
Volcanoes and...
Yeah. That's one of the ones he really wants to do.
Dry eyes and put bubbles in there.
Yeah, like different things. This is like, why not? Mm-hmm. We have things within our house that we could probably do it with baking soda. You can do so much, you know? Or even teach him how, like, when you make a cake, it goes from this to that, you know? It's just little things.
Yeah, and it's just like, the yeast. You know what yeast is?
Yeah, like just a lot of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So then I'm going to break it down once I have the curriculum that I'm going to go with, right? Mm-hmm. I did ask, like, the AP from his old school, like, what she recommended, because I was cool with her, you know, and she sent me the ones that the school is going to be using. So I'm going to look into them. It's just... I don't know. It's just, I'm excited. Like, so that's, again, I told you off camera another thing that was going on, right, with our lives. So that, and then homeschooling, and then just both my jobs, you know. So that's what I meant in my video with the whole, it's going to be a crazy month, and I just don't want to lose focus of the end goal, you know.
And you want to hold yourself accountable, okay? Everything's...
That I'm staying on track, you know, that I'm being consistent in my performance, because I don't want to burn out, you know, like, I want to stay consistent. But I saw your comment.
It's just about having a schedule.
Yeah, staying in routine, you know. But obviously right now it's like we can be in routine, but we just don't know when it's going to just change automatically. And that's what's throwing me off. Like, because me and Roland sat down and had a conversation, and we're like, I was asking him, and I'm like, I don't want to stress, you know, but not having control of the situation is what's low-key stressing me out. But then he's just like, just let it go. He's like, it's gonna happen when it happens, and we're just gonna go with the flow. I was like, you're right. And he's like, I wish I could answer all your questions, but I can't. And when he told me that, I was just like,
thank you.
If you don't, I rely on Roland a lot, and I'm like, and if you're telling me that you don't know and you're just going with the flow,
it gives you like, okay,
then I'm just gonna go with the flow. But I'm a planner, so I feel like for me it's a little bit harder, and so is he. Roland's big about his time, you know. So I know if he's going with the flow, I'm gonna go with the flow too, like with life, right? Just with whatever is coming. So I feel like that's probably how you feel right now too, right?
Just go with the flow.
Like, and I on her way.
Yeah, and like me not having a job and low-key freaking out inside, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with my life? So I was reading. I'm reading a book.
Well, you can come back next Monday, right? If you want.
What am I gonna do with my life if I'm not having contractions yet? I was reading a book que se llama Made for This, and it had a section of like whenever you are on maternity leave, and it helped me out a lot. Just plan your day. Just plan, like, if you don't know when the baby's coming, there's no actual due date. Just plan the day. Plan, like, even after your 40 weeks, have a plan, have something in mind, like, next month I'm still planning on doing this, and look forward to that, instead of saying like, no, this is where I have to stop, I can't do anything anymore.
Damn, that's a good... What's it? ¿Cómo se llama?
Made for This.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. And it's a pregnancy book?
Yeah. It's a Catholic. It's like the Catholic guide to pregnancy.
Oh, okay. Is that the one Star posted? She's moving?
Yeah. She's freaking hitting me on my ribs. I think so. I saw it on Amazon, and I bought it for my little sister when she was pregnant, and then I bought it for myself when I got pregnant. Yeah. But I think Star has put quotes on it.
Okay, yeah, because I saw her posted. I should, well, if you know about the Bible that I was telling you off camera, you should let me know if you know if you know of one, you know, like if you see one on Amazon or something. Because Star would be another good person to ask, you know, like about that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
Did you see the comment that I put?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Because where did you get that from?
The Great One. I read it in the book. También.
Oh really?
Yeah. Because I was like, it had like the meanings of every month.
What was December?
I don't remember. It's not that important.
It's important to me.
It's your birthday. And I saw August. I'm like, because Anna's probably coming on August, and it said the Great One.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's
and
dope.
I was like, for you,
and
August?
then I posted the video, and you're like, oh, yeah.
It'll be a great month.
Yeah. How exciting. I can't believe you're gonna have a baby. Like, I'm so excited for you. Like, honestly, it's one of the best journeys of your life, honestly. And you're just about to start it. So I'm excited that somehow I get to be a part of that or witness you become a mom, you know, because it's such a, again, to me, is one of the best experiences ever. Like being a mom, you know. Kids are they're funny. Like,
I feel like they're just full of life. I really like kids.
Yeah, they are full of life.
Yeah.
But they're full of life and attitude.
Yeah, a whole bunch of lessons that you have to learn through them.
Yes, because
you know what surprises me so much? I don't know if you told me or Roland told me that Milo be telling you, but I was right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and that hasn't left my head.
But we're teaching him not to do that.
But it's just so like, wow, like he knows.
Yeah,
and
he knows.
Needs his. Because
Like,
we all need that, whether we want it or not as adults. If we like it or not, if like that's ugly, that's an ugly attitude.
Yeah,
we need it as adults. Tell me I'm right, bruh. You know,
you know I'm right. Just tell me.
Yeah.
No, yeah. We're teaching him that he doesn't really have to do that, or sometimes
key points and see.
Yeah, he'll like tell you like he'll do something. You'll do something for you, and he's like, oh, do you want to say thank you? Damn, bro, you didn't even give me a second to say it. Like, you know?
But it's lessons that he's like, well, I'm learning. Well, why don't you learn with me too? You know
what lesson he showed us not that long ago? That as a parent, we're always on the go, right? And your kids grow.
Yeah.
Time flies, you know? And Milo recently, he's been doing like, he'll have a conversation with you, but he knows that you're not paying attention, and he'll ask you something, and then he's like, oh, you said yeah? And I'm like, what did I say? Sometimes you, as a parent, you're just like, yeah, okay, you know?
And he'll check you like, oh, you said
yeah.
Yes.
Like, you said yeah? You know?
And you're like, wait, what did you?
Or he'll say, you're not paying attention. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry, papi. He's like, and he'll just stop talking. Now, like, de repente estoy en mi teléfono and he's telling me something, he'll stop talking. He's like, you're on your phone. I was like, I'm sorry, papi, I'm working. Let me finish this and then you can tell me.
Yeah.
You know, like, to me it's amazing. Like,
that is so crazy.
I'm just like, are you checking me, bro?
Yeah.
You just turned 6. Like,
yeah,
you know?
Loki, like, me da gusto, you know, for kids to be that way, because we couldn't be that way. We couldn't be that way with our parents. We couldn't be like, Ama no me hizo caso. She was like, la fregada, you know, like, but kids nowadays, they do have a little voice and they can.
And as they should, though. As they should. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, you're raising like a soft kid or anything like that. No, I'm raising a good kid. Like, I'm raising a kid that knows that he can speak up for what he wants and what he doesn't want, you know? Yeah. Because everybody should be able to speak up, you know? And if I'm not around, he should be able to. And he does.
Yeah.
And he does. He'll speak up, you know, like, if he's comfortable with you or something, like, he'll tell you, like, no, or yes, like, I don't want that, or, you know, just things like that. But yeah, so this is officially going to be your last.
I don't know, maybe I am going to be here next, but I'm going to say, see, I don't get contractions.
So okay, so next week, it'll be 1 week left.
Yeah, next week.
But they haven't checked if you're dilated either, right?
And they're not going to check. Not
until you're like...
Yeah, not until, like, I'm already in labor, and for them to, like, give me a little bit more encouragement, they're going to tell me, girl, you only got 2 centimeters more to go. You know? Yeah. Yeah, so they might suggest, like, do you want us to do a cervical check? Or they might just be like, there's no need. You're doing good.
And what about, like, is there something that's just on the back of your mind? Like, you're just right now?
No.
With the whole pregnancy, your job? Well, let's talk about your job, since you're taking a
maternity leave for like 4 months.
I know.
A lot of clients are just like, that's good for you, blah, blah. But a lot of them are like, no, what are we going to do? They're like, well, I have a really special event in October. Should I hit you up? Just in the case that you're down to cut my hair in October. I'm like, yeah, whatever, hit me up.
That's so funny because I was going to say that too.
Really?
I'm like, if your hands are itching, hit me up. You hit me up and I'll take Milo to go get a haircut, you know, because
I have had some clients like, well, I'm getting married in this day. And and they're like,
can you please cut my hair? I don't think we really have anything. For me, it would have been like if Milo started school, obviously, but he ain't gonna start school anytime soon. So maybe the next time you cut his hair, you can braid him, because
he's gonna have long hair.
He's gonna have long hair.
Porque estaba diciendo Roland that he doesn't want the top to be cut. So we cut it a little bit shorter this time.
Yeah, he did tell me. I was like, I'm going to let you handle that. If Alondra ain't in the picture, I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, I'm not going to be the one taking him.
The only thing is that it's going to be harder for them to edge him up because he starts getting curls. Yeah.
So, as a dad, Roland can handle that. You know, because
Roland is going to be like, whenever I come back to record, but I'm not working still, he's going to be like, I got the clippers.
I know.
We got a restroom.
I know. Bring Anna and he can watch her. Milo can watch her. He loves having babies around.
Over.
Yeah. Well, Penelope, you know, that's like his girl, man. He loves her. But yeah. So I'm excited for you. So then I saw you posted at first I was like, who the fuck is posting Milo? I was like, it was my feed and it was Milo's pic, like he was there. I'm
You're
just
like, excuse me?
I was like, what? And then I saw that it was yours. I was just like, damn. I'm like, you're taking the 4 months, but you're not going back to the salon either, right? You're going to get somewhere else?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
As you go.
Yeah, as we go.
What does Kike say?
Nothing really. What is he gonna say?
No, like, do you feel like, because financially, like, pues you're not gonna be bringing income for the 4 months?
He got it.
Does he feel like, no se siente como que, does he tell you that? Like, does he say that?
He does tell me. He's like, oh, I don't know if I could do it. I'm like, bro,
you got it.
Yes.
You got no choice, baby boy. You gotta do it. Like,
so whenever we were first married, he didn't have a job. Well, he had a job, but they hadn't
started.
Yeah. So I took care of everything. And I was like, if I had it, you got it. Yeah, but he's like, no. Because I make more money than him, right? Yeah. So he's like, no.
No, yeah, it could be near. It could be... I get it, porque I've seen Roland. Like, and sometimes I could tell... As a wife, I know that I want to give him that extra encouragement. But I'm... In the back of my mind, I can be low-key, like, stressing it. But I'm not going to make it known. Because I'm like... I know you're going to do whatever you got to do. Yeah. To take care of us, you know. And I know Kike is the same way. Like, I'm sure... I think you got it, Kike. You got it.
Yeah, that's why I'm not stressing. Because I'm like... What? We're not gonna eat for a month? No, you're not gonna allow that. Yeah, like you're not gonna allow for us not to be paying our bills. You gotta
go to a strip club and be a security guard. That's what you gotta do. Yeah. Like, yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, going into the last topic right before we ended, how Roland was saying about the arguing in a relationship.
That is ridiculous. There's this girl talking about we can't. If there's arguments in the relationship, that she's not going to be down with it. She doesn't want to be with the person anymore, right? Yeah. If there's any arguments. I kind of, okay. A lot of people take arguments like, oh, you're raising your voice, right? But I don't see, like, if you're raising your voice during an argument and you're, like, yelling over each other, okay, yeah, you don't want that in a relationship. You don't want to be talking over each other and yelling and calling each other names. Like, that's not a healthy way of arguing. There's another word for, we're just having a discussion. We're discussing.
Or a disagreement.
Yeah, it's a disagreement, but you have to go through them. And you have to talk about them.
Yeah, because she was straight up saying, like, first argument, I'm out the picture.
That's crazy.
And then I tell Roland, I'm like, it's crazy. I'm like, because at the end of the day, we are humans. And sometimes we make mistakes. Like, I can make a mistake and be wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and argue because as a human
didn't know.
As a human, I'm not realizing that I'm wrong until after the fact, you know. But that's just as a, you know, in a relationship, I just feel like you have to figure out how to communicate and how not to, like, don't get me wrong, me and Roland do argue. We've argued, and he can get loud and I can get loud, you know. But I just feel like we won't go out of calling each other.
Yeah. Calling each other names.
Yeah, stuff. Like, no, that's se pasa. Like, like, that's too much.
Like, I don't think me and Kike, I don't think I could get loud.
Well, you don't get loud.
Or him get loud. I don't ever see that ever happening. Like, for me to be like, oh, really? You know, like, going and like, no, I'm just like, oh, really?
Can you picture Roland?
I can't picture him. Tampoco tía. I can't picture you getting loud.
It takes more for me to get loud than he. He can get loud quick. Like, literally, he can get loud quick. Have you seen... I don't know if you've seen the movie Inside Out. The one with the emotions. Mm-mm. Okay. There's a red guy. He's angry.
The little fire?
The fire. Yeah. That's Roland. I told him, I'm like, that's you. Like... Things can tick him off so easily, you know, which is crazy. But
and get him to yell.
He doesn't yell. It's just like, it's hard to explain. Sube la voz. Yeah. But his voice is so deep that it's just like, I know you're not talking to me like that, you know, because then I'm gonna get loud. But I think, of course, we've been together for so long and we've gotten into it, like, for sure, you know. Obviously, once we had Milo, I think it just changed the dynamic a little bit, because now we have to respect his space too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I feel like if Kike ever raises his voice at me, I'm just gonna look at him and be like, "That's funny, bro. Like, that's very funny."
you want to get loud?
Yeah,
I'm about to whisper.
Yeah, you're about to get the silence treatment. No, I feel like
you're making me uncomfortable. I feel like you're making my space feel uncomfortable.
I'd be like, "Dang, what's wrong with you?" I think tengo una maña muy fea to make people feel dumb.
Yeah, I can see that.
Tengo una maña bien fea to just look at people and just be like, whatever, and make them feel very dumb after they screwed up, you know. Because I won't give them my energy. Like, I'm not gonna go there with you.
Yeah.
And even with my words, like, I say one thing that I know is gonna really ache them, and they're gonna answer me back, but I won't answer back to you, because that was the last you're gonna get out of me, to hit you really where it hurts.
And see, that's Roland wants to have the last word. And I feel like sometimes I'm gonna try that though next time. I feel like sometimes, because I know que he wants to have the last word, yo me meto y le empiezo a decir. Yeah, like, no. But sometimes we've gotten into it and he's just like, I just need to cool down.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, so we're on your time. We're on your time because you need to cool down. Yeah. Like, nah, like, let's talk about it right now, because I'm not going to want to talk about it later. Like, we're on my time. And that's a problem because, but he's learned how to, like, with time. But then I see Milo and he's the same way.
Como su papá.
Yeah, like, if he's upset,
he'll be like, give me time.
He's like, he goes to his room.
Yeah.
Because he's not ready. And he'll tell you he's not ready to talk. Like, he'll be crying and he's like, I'm like, come here, I'm not ready.
You're igual que tu padre.
and he's done it to Roland.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and what does Roland say?
I was like, that's all you.
Yeah, Roland has to respect it, right?
Yeah, he has to respect it. But Roland says he doesn't mind respecting it because he knows that with him, he wishes that I respect it, you know?
Yeah.
So with Milo, I respect it because I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, you need time to cool down.
Yeah. Okay, your little body needs time.
Yeah. But with Roland, it's like, hell no, we're not on your time right now.
Yeah.
We're on mine. But it's just things. But of course, I do think that sometimes arguments are needed in a relationship. Yeah. Not to be yelling, but sometimes a disagreement is needed because I feel like you learn with that and you learn from your partner.
You're like, oh, that's how you really feel.
Yeah, or they're literally genuinely teaching you something because you're just not seeing the bigger picture. Yeah. And because we don't always see the bigger picture, you know.
And I honestly feel that there's things that with your partner, you cannot play the card of like, oh, we're just going to agree to disagree. No, you absolutely have to come to an agreement. Like, there's some things que there's no discussion because it's values. Say, for example, he was to say, we're not teaching Milo about God. And you're like, no, yeah, we are. Mm-hmm. There's no agree to disagree. Yeah, both have to be on the same page about that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because he's going to grow up and be like, whoa, do I please mom or do I please dad? Dad wasn't about God. Mom is. And he's always going to grow up thinking like, I don't know where to go.
That's crazy you say that because that's how I was with my grandparents.
Yeah.
He didn't believe in God and my grandma was all about God.
Yeah.
But I don't think I grew up like... my grandma would genuinely just tell me he's dumb.
Yeah, he's
like,
crazy.
He's crazy. Está loco. Like, you know.
Yeah, just pray for him.
Just ignore him and pray for him. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, but there's, I mean, otras cosas, you know, like there's so many things that you cannot agree to disagree with your partner. Y'all have to come together.
Yes.
To
I think God's a big one.
Yeah.
Like a big one, because sometimes Roland doesn't want to go to church.
Yeah.
And I just haven't been to church. And then I showed him, oh my God, I wanted to tell you, but we're about to run out of time. There's like un guy que he was like all about Satan, you know? And there's a video where he's like, Hail Satan, right? Mm-hmm. Y está todo tattooed and todo así, and he's the church.
Oh, I have seen it.
The girl that I sent you, she posted it.
Okay. And then he came back to God, right?
Yeah, he said he had an experience with God. And when I tell you, I'm not one to get emotional. Like, I'm not, you know. Yeah. But it made me so emotional to see. It's different things like that. You know, I love to see posts like that.
Yeah. When
they find themselves to God, you know. Yeah. And his was like a beautiful story. Like, he said that he was like, ¿qué dijo? Like, if this is God... if this is really him, I'm in trouble and I'm scared, you know? And then that just, he said that to God, right? And that God just showed him nothing but love. And he just, como que he started choking up, you know? And it made me feel like emotional, right?
Yeah.
And then I showed Roland and I'm like, man, this is like a beautiful story or whatever. And he's like, we can go back to church. I'm like, I'm going back to church. I'm going back, you know? I just need to go back. And I'm like, he's like, pero pues me voy a llevar a Milo. Mm-hmm. But I know Roland's the type too. If I'm going to wake up and go, he's going to go with me. Mm-hmm. So now I feel like it's not even on him anymore. It's like on me just to take the step and go.
Yeah.
You know? And, but yeah, that story was like a beautiful story. I was just like, but you know what I'm going to say? Before we wrap it up, I don't like seeing things like where it's like people posting about God and because they're God believers. But because they are God believers, they're posting bashing other people. Like, I hate that. Like, it bothers me. It makes me really want to reply and be like, how can you post this about God but you're bashing others?
Yeah. On social media.
On social media.
Giving your time of the day to, like, bro, you're giving into sin. By judging, you know?
Yeah, like...
who cares? Let them live their life.
Yeah, you focus on yourself.
Exactly.
Like,
keep talking about the Lord.
Yeah, like I told the suegra, I was just... because she's like, I need to go back, teach Milo. I'm like, Milo knows about God, you know? Like, he knows. And she's like, no, es que tienen que llevarlo a la iglesia. Like, he needs to go. I was like, he doesn't need to go because he's not even getting the body of Christ. Yeah. But obviously, it's the presence, you know? But the fact that she's telling me, it's just like... no, you know, like my inner is like no, but I know that for me is like I want to go and I want to get the body of Christ, you know. I actually am gonna try the church where you got married.
Yeah,
that's where we baptized Penelope. Mm-hmm. So I want to go check it out.
Yeah,
Sunday and see if I like it or not. You know?
We really like the priest there. Well, maybe because he married us and he's pretty cool. He's really young.
What are the times there?
I think they have one at 7:30, then 9 a.m.
7:30 a.m.
7:30
a.m.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow!
And then they have 9 a.m. and then they have 12 p.m.
And they're all of those are in Spanish.
The 9 a.m. is in Spanish. The 7:30 in English. But the
9 is in Spanish. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, because
I want to. 12 in Spanish también.
Oh, 12's in Spanish? Yeah, because I was...
Oh, no, wait. 9 is not in... 9 is in English.
7:30 is Spanish, right? Yeah, that's what I figured. Porque tiene que ser...
the earliest one is always
Spanish. Yeah. So I was thinking, like, I want to do, like, an early mass. I want to go to, like, a quiet mass, you know? Because I was just, like, I can't focus, you know? I really can't, like...
Sit at the front.
Yeah, but it's just, like... Maybe that's what it is too, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, that's probably what it is, but I gotta get there early.
Yeah, that's what
to do that.
Mickey can do that. We just sit on the third row, porque I do get distracted. He gets distracted too. And then there's a lot of little kids, and I'm just like, looking at little kids and making faces to them. The whole mass.
No, I know, yeah. So it's just different, you know, like, but me and my mother-in-law have like talked about it, and she's obviously like big Catholic, you know, so. But it's funny, she's like, oh, so-and-so go to church. Well, good for them.
Yeah. The thing is, también, like, yo me pongo a pensar, like, ¿y si se va a la iglesia? No se va a ir Dios, right? You know?
Well, that's what this is my comeback to that was, well, what about whenever we were going? Because we used to go every Sunday, we used to take him to church when he was little. Milo se quedaba tranquilo y sentado. Like, we were never in the cry room. And because we would take him. Then COVID hit. Milo was 1.5 years when COVID hit. And they're like, no kids, only the first 50 people.
Yeah.
So I tell her, I'm like, we stopped going because the church basically said no.
Shut their doors on
they
people.
Said no.
Yeah.
You know, no kids, first 50. You know, and obviously the first 50 were the people that are always helping the church, you know. I was just like, so what about all that time you went without getting the body of Christ?
Yeah.
You know? She's like, yeah, but the time's changing again, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, yeah, but that made me realize, because yo antes iba todos los Sundays.
Yeah.
But then that really made me feel like some type of way, kind of, you know. But obviously, I never lost the sight of God or my faith, you know. Like with Milo, like, he knows, you know. So, like, with the whole, what I told you off camera, like, como the religion things, they gotta go. Pero I tell Ronan, I don't want to put it away from his room, because we have something, except this room, I don't think we have anything. But where we sleep, está algo.
Yeah.
You know, in the sala too. And that's going to be one of the last things that I take down, you know, because it's just, I just feel protected, you know, and it's just different. But yeah, that was just something that the story, I thought it was like a beautiful story or whatever.
That is, I have seen it, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know, he was getting interviewed, right? In another... It was time in his life,
it was the before when he was all about Satan, and then he ended it with all about God. Yeah, because he had that encounter. Sometimes I wonder, like, how it is, like, to have an encounter, like, because when I was dying, I don't think I was like God. Yeah. For me, it was like Milo is in the back of my head. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Obviously, God played a big. You know, a big part of that, like, because he saved me, right? I was able to come out of that miraculously alive, you know? So then I know he played a big part, but the encounter part, I don't know, like, I wonder how, I guess I need to hear, like, more people's stories to see how it is, because I'm sure it's different for everybody. Like, for you, when you're, like, you were praying and you just heard, you know.
Well, my very first encounter with God was looking at the movie Passion of Christ.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I was like 17 years old. I was looking at that movie, The Passion of Christ, and that was my very first encounter where I just couldn't believe what I was looking at through my phone. It was literally like 2 a.m, and I was looking at the movie, and my sister Perla, she was like just tapping my feet because I was sobbing. She was like tapping me, you know, like if I was like a little baby, like, it's okay. Yeah, but she didn't know what I was looking at. She just knew that I was crying a lot. And I just couldn't believe what Jesus was going through. I had never really paid attention to the horrific events and the beautiful story. Yeah. And I just remember me fui para afuera because I just couldn't stop sobbing after I watched the movie. I just left outside. And I looked up in the sky and I told God that no, I'm not leaving till you give me a sign that you hear me, you know, that you know, bro, what I just went through looking at your movie, okay? I was like, give me a sign that you know, that I know, right? Yeah. And he did. Like, empezó a relampaguear, and it was literally 3 minutes. Like, no more than that. It was probably just 1 minute. But to me...
It felt longer.
Yeah, empezó a relampaguear y a llover, and it stopped out of nowhere. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. That was probably God.
It's probably God. It was a random tormenta.
It was a random little nube. But I took it like, thank you, God.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's true. Like, I've done that where I'm just like, please, God, like, show me a sign. Yeah. And something does happen, you know. But as a human, as a person, regular person, I feel like sometimes, like, I just forget what the sign was.
Yeah.
¿Sí me entiendes cómo? Because I know for a fact that I had asked God for a sign to reunite me with my mom when we just went, like, we weren't talking anymore. Yeah. And it was such a hurtful sign. Like, I ended up losing my grandma's ring.
Yeah.
And that's literally what got me to call my mom crying about my ring. You know, like, that's what it was.
You hadn't spoken.
But we hadn't spoken, like, I think maybe like a month. No había hablado con ella.
Wow.
And
but you had told God
I would pray and I'm like, oh, like, to help me fix my relationship with my mom. Like, I just needed something, you know, or just to help me fix it, you know. But I didn't know how to go about it, I didn't want to be the first one to call either. And it had to be something so close to my heart, which was my grandma's ring, that made me get in contact with my mom. I'm the one who called her crying that I had lost the ring. And I was driving from 225 to 225, and you know, like, you can get down and then, or you get 610. I was driving, like, I was like on 610. I vividly remember like driving 225, getting 610, and I was calling my mom crying because I was on my way to MLK because that's where I used to live with Rosemary. And I was crying, telling her that I had lost my ring and that I just couldn't believe it and I couldn't forgive myself, you know. But my mom was so calm on the phone, you know, and she just like calmed me down, like, when that happened, you know.
She never said, why are you calling me? She like, never made you feel,
like, it's just like nothing happened. Like, we just never stopped talking. Like, that is probably one. But I guess I wouldn't consider it an encounter with God. I feel like people have encounters, but it is, maybe, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, God didn't speak to me that day. He didn't say nothing, but I took that little cloud like that's my answer, you know. And I was like, thank you, God, you welcomed me in your kingdom. That's literally how I took it, and I went to sleep like, I'm God's chosen one now, you know. I'm the child.
You're like, I'm the favorite.
I'm highly favored now.
No, I don't know, maybe it is, but again,
I guess through faith, right?
Through faith. Like, it could have just been like, damn, you dumbass, you just lost your ring. And now you're here calling your mom, like, you know.
And through faith, you think God came through for you, right?
It's faith is a scary thing. Like, if you don't have it, or if you have it too much, it's so scary. But it's also like, what is it, like, it could be a scary feeling, but it's also like a feeling you need. You know.
No, 100%.
So it's funny. So wait, are you gonna be out on maternity leave for 4 months from the podcast too, or just from your haircut?
Just from my haircut.
For the podcast, how long?
I don't know, probably like 2-3 months.
From the podcast.
Well, for 40 days, la cuarentena.
Oh, la cuarentena. Like, it's like a month and a half. Okay. I don't know. I need to
just take a break.
That's what I told Roland, but he said, no, keep going. So I don't know. I haven't planned for it. I'm as of right now, guys, we are planning more than likely to take a break with Entre Nos. But don't be surprised if I just post a random episode with like a guest.
Have somebody. My sister wants to join. I don't know.
I know. Like, because he said invite some of the girls that have been on This and Much More and just have like conversations with them or whatever. So that might happen.
But what if you don't vibe with them?
Huh?
What if you don't vibe with them?
I vibe with all of them. They were guests already. So I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe doing that or maybe just taking the break. Because already, this is going to be like a crazy month already, you know? So I could use the break and not have the Entre Nos in the back of my mind. But we'll see. But if you don't come next week, good luck with everything. Thank you for being part of Entre Nos. You're not leaving, right? Leaving. But for this break that we're gonna have. Damn, that's so crazy. I'm so sad.
Really?
Well, I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
But I'm sad that we're taking a break. If we take a break or whatever on our end. But
we'll let you know, guys.
But with that being said,
the plan
guys,
is still to be here next Monday.
As of right now, hopefully she'll be back Monday.
If my water breaks here, ni modo.
I mean, I guess. But with that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram. And maybe we'll drop next week. Maybe we won't. Stay tuned for that.
Bye.
Peace.